Welcome to Buff Zone. Can't believe I'm saying it, but we are here to talk about the Pac-12 championship game, which involves the Colorado Buffaloes for the first time ever. Colorado, the greatest single-season turnaround in this conference history after going 1-8 last year, 8-1 in the conference this year, winning the South Division and clinching that by beating Utah last week, 27-22 at Folsom Field behind me, and standing right in front of the brand new statue of Ralphie and her handlers. Very cool and pretty statue. If you have a chance, I recommend coming down and seeing it. But the Buffaloes, it's been a great season for them. They are 10-2. They will take on the Washington Huskies on Friday night at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The Huskies 11-1 and ranked number 4 in the college football playoff rankings. Colorado at number 8. Obviously, there's a Pac-12 title on the line, but also potentially national championship implications in this game as well. If Washington wins that, you got to think they're going to be in the championship game. If Colorado wins it, maybe they get in there, maybe they don't. We're going to find out. But really, the Buffaloes this week it's kind of a fun week. They're balancing the excitement of being in the championship game with also trying to stay focused and try to beat the Huskies this week.
It's a new experience, but I think the biggest thing for us this week is to just treat it as another game and just go out there and have fun. No one really expected us to be there. Nobody, I think, really wants us there. And so just going to continue to depend on ourselves and the guys in the locker room and go out there and try and put a complete game together. I think it's the same kind of focus because we've just wanted to win every single game since we've been a part of this season. And this game is no different in my mind than other games. I know that might sound a little crazy to some people, but each game is very important. Each game was very important if we wanted to reach this one. And so we just want to come out here and put a complete game together, like I said earlier, and just do our best to be very consistent because this is a very good team that we're going up against in all phases.
It's going to be exciting for both teams, going to the Pac-12 championship game. You're the only game in the country on that night. It's a national televised. There's been a lot of things at both places this week where we're having to do like commercials and all these different things, which is awesome for the kids. I mean, how cool is that, And so I think they're handling it really well. They know what has got us at this point, and they know how well we'll have to play and how well we'll have to prepare to play against Washington. So I know we'll come out. I know we'll play well, and hopefully we'll play well enough to score one more point than Washington does. And they're thinking the exact same thing over there too.
Certainly the Buffaloes need to stay focused because Washington is maybe the best team they're going to play this season. And Colorado head coach Mike McIntyre had high praise for the Huskies this week. He knows Chris Peterson, their head coach, pretty well, and had a lot of good things to say about the Huskies, both offensively, defensively, as well as their special teams.
Yeah, Washington, on offense, the quarterback is extremely accurate. I remember watching him play in high school. He was so accurate in high school, too. Gaskins and Ross are just so fast and explosive. Pettis, he catches everything. Our offensive line's good. They make a lot of, offensively, they're very efficient, a lot of different formations, very precise. I would call it a precise, efficient offense with big play capabilities. Defensively, they're big and athletic up front. They play excellent man coverage, do a good job of that. Really impressed with their secondary. They're an excellent secondary. So their return game is really good. With Ross and Pettis, they're an excellent football team. They're very good.
This is an interesting matchup as it's going to feature two of the best defenses in the country and the top two defenses in the Pac-12. And for the Colorado defense, the challenge is getting some pressure on Jake Browning. The Washington quarterback is a Heisman candidate, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. And Colorado's got to be on point defensively. And one of the keys is probably getting some pressure on Browning. And Jimmy Gilbert and others talked about what defensively Colorado needs to do to try to stop the Huskies this week.
Getting pressure is very important because as anyone can see, we do a lot of single high safety, a lot of zero coverage, and that puts a lot of pressure on our secondary. And so to take that pressure off our secondary, we really have to get a lot of pressure, really get to the quarterback as fast as possible. Either make him hurry the pass or at least get a couple hits on him. That way he's thinking about it before he throws the ball. Or get him off the pocket, get him moving, get him in a position where he's not used to it to make a different throw.
He's a great quarterback. He was up for the Heisman, and in my opinion, he still should be up for the Heisman. one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12. He just said he got Offensive Player of the Year, and what's crazy is the fact that he's a young guy, so he still has a lot more experience, but he plays like he's a veteran. He plays like he's a senior. You know, he controls the entire offense. He knows how to check plays. He knows how to he knows how to scramble. He knows how to make plays happen with his legs and with his feet and things like that. And, you know, he knows how to read coverages, read defenses. So, like I said earlier, we just gotta, you know, study him and keep studying the offense.
For the Colorado offense, it's going to be a big challenge going against this Husky defense, which really ranks up there among the best that Colorado has seen this season. Right up there probably with Michigan, Utah, USC. This one might actually be even better. Last week, Colorado did not play very well offensively. They had some turnovers, dropped some passes, missed some passes, and quarterback Sefo Liufau talked this week about what Colorado needs to do offensively to have a better game and beat the Huskies.
It's like one of the best defenses we'll face all year. You know, obviously it's kind of hard to tell because you haven't actually played against them yet, but just to see them on film, they've got some really good defensive backs. They've got a good front, and so it's going to be a real good matchup all game long, and we're going to have to go out there and make some plays on offense and not leave our defense or our special teams out to dry again.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what Colorado can do against this team. I do believe it's the best opponent they're going to face this season, right up there with Michigan. Michigan and Washington probably the two best teams they're going to face. USC is obviously you know, one of the best teams as well, but I think at the time USC was not playing as well as they are now. So the way Washington's playing right now, this is as good of a challenge as Colorado's going to have all season. Should be a lot of fun to watch on Friday night at Levi's Stadium. And before we get out of here, we want to feature our Buff of the Week. And I'm going to do something a little bit different this week because we've always gone with a player. This week I'm going to go with the coach. And head coach Mike McIntyre earlier this week was named the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. And he's a candidate for National Coach of the Year and decided to make him our Buff of the Week.
It's just these young men and how well they've played and how they've just bought into everything that we've asked them to do. Our coaching staff has done a phenomenal job with them. And then all our auxiliary people, everybody that touches our young men have had an absolute pride and commitment to us being successful. And, you know, from our trainers, our strength staff, our equipment managers, our football ops, everybody has done so much to propel these young men and instill confidence in them and belief. And that's what's happened. And so I'm just fortunate enough to have head coach in front of my name, and I just get to go along with the ride. So it's pretty special.
Well, that'll do it for us this week. We'll look forward to seeing you probably next week as you know, the Buffs will not play next week, obviously. They will find out what bowl they're going to be in, but we'll talk about that next week and kind of preview the bowl game a little bit and do a little bit of that over the next several weeks as well as we find out where the Buffs are going. But we'll look forward to seeing you again next week.